Hello and welcome to episode 20 of A Quick Brew. We've made it to big numbers, episode 20. I seem, though, today to be on my own. Not sure what's happening here, but...
No, yeah, I know I am coming. Technical, hang on.
Right, okay,
Once.
I'm sure James will be joining us, as is customary.
Here I am. Hello. Oh.
Yeah, hi. Dude, what is happening? What am I looking at? I can't take this in. What's happening?
I'm really into tennis now. Hence the name James Andre Sharples.
Andre Agassi, not the giant.
Yeah, you obviously know. Oh, don't know. Depends.
Depends who you're asking.
Depends who you're asking and what stage of life I was at, because I have been Andre the Giant, potentially surpassed his weight at some stage.
So that vibe to me, don't take this the wrong way, and it's not meant the wrong way. We've played football, we've done some martial arts together. I know you're a capable competitor, but that specific look says all the gear, no idea.
Oh, 100%. And I actually literally just bought this to annoy the person that I'm playing with. So when I rock up like the fresh noob on the court and I've got fully matching Nike outfits, Nike zip up, Nike headband as displayed here, Nike armbands.
Sponsored athlete.
And then and I know that as I'm walking down with all of the other people at the tennis club, they will be looking and thinking, who the is this?
Yeah, and a fair question. A very fair question. And they will know as soon as you do your first serve exactly who you are.
Yeah. I'm serving it like this.
Are we good to do underarm?
Just an underarm serve. What I could bring my racket in for such recently purchased.
Oh, wow. Wow. And actually, you should unbox it on court. It shouldn't even be unwrapped.
I might even just leave that bit on, because that'll frustrate people further. So I'll completely just leave this. But no, I did some research. As you know, that I'll always do research if I'm adopting a new sport or a new hobby or whichever. Yep. So not bad, actually. So this was nominated the best racket you can have and the best value, which is the head.
For pros or for amateurs, mate?
I don't know. I just read a survey on rackets. It's the Head Titanium T1 or TI.S6, but it was 84 quid, which is not bad. And I'll see how good it is. It's obviously not going to be good if I leave the plastic cover on, but I might unwrap that at the court just to further annoy my tennis tennis buddy that I'm going with.
It's when you turn up on a Saturday for 3:00 kickoff and you've got the lads in the clean, untouched boots, but they're gold or something like that. It's like
bright purple. That always made me, because as you know, David, from playing football with me, I'm sort of like your midfield henchman. I'm not afraid.
That's how I would describe you.
I'm not afraid to stick a few naughty challenges in.
Vinnie Jones-esque.
Yeah, or Roy Keane-esque. If
nice.
So if somebody's rocking up with pink boots, I'm going through you.
Right. So maybe we'll have a follow-up to this pod in a couple of weeks and just check in, see how that racket performed.
Yes, I'll let everybody know. But welcome to A Quick Brew. What have you gone with today?
Cheers. And this is tea from Tesco.
What, just standard Tesco tea?
I think it might be Tesco tea. So we've
Tesco did a brand of tea. What, no frills or?
I don't know. They used to call it Blue Stripe, didn't they? Do you remember?
Yes. Yeah. Do you remember the no frills stuff as well, where it's basically just plain wrapping?
Value.
Yeah. Value.
But I don't know if this is the equivalent. It was in a red box. It's from Tesco. So yeah, it's not my favoured Yorkshire Gold. It's not even Yorkshire. It's just Tesco.
Just Tesco tea. I like it. Well, I've gone with a Tenzing, your natural energy source.
Wow.
Cool, refreshing, crisp, with vitamin C, caffeine, and electrolytes. Anybody from Tenzing watching or listening to the pod, please feel free to reach out and sponsor. Yes, and sorry. and ultimately a profound apology.
The
For,
apology before before
I
the
don't think I'd get the job on the advert.
talking of sponsors, James,
Yes.
indulge me, if you will.
Well, Daffith, which is how you pronounce your name in Welsh, obviously. We nothing to do with the sponsor. Just thought it was an interesting fact. We are and going to be having the podcast's first sponsor.
Yes, if I had my
Yes,
soundboard
indeed.
ready, I'd be able to do a round of applause.
Yes, so it is Lumina, the software as a service product, which is engineered by Wellity Global, obviously world leaders in workplace training, mental health, productivity. And it's basically an AI conversation coach, which helps managers practice and hone their skills in communication within a safe space without fear of judgment to improve their ability to manage awkward conversations and difficult conversations with their teams. Because we all know that 82% of managers are accidental, and the only way we can give them the skills to lead is by teaching them how to do it.
So you say we all know 82%. Obviously, if you're a listener to a pod, you absolutely know that 82% because it's come up very often. And actually, it's a great point. Most people aren't equipped to lead. They're not equipped to manage. They've seen it. God help us, they might have seen it on the screen in films, sort of boiler room style. And that that's probably that's not
No,
going to wash in 2026, is it?
no, not at all. And as you'll probably know, David, and as I certainly know, the only learning that they've gone by is potentially previous managers that they've had.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
most of the managers I've had have been terrible,
Should we call them
dictatorial, old school potentially. And yeah, if that's the example that you're led by, you're going to fail within management and creating healthy, safe, inclusive workplace cultures.
Yeah, I love that. It's great to have a sponsor.
Isn't it ironic as well that our conversation surrounding AI, we're now going to be sponsored by a software as a service AI product?
You couldn't write it, could you?
No.
And on the basis that our whole value proposition is the power of discussion, it kind of couldn't be any better.
Perfect fit. As we're talking about the power
Good
of discussion,
synergy.
so yes, there is exclusive discounts with that for Lumina as well. So if you use Brew 10, all of the information will be released next week when you hear about the sponsor. And we also have the amazing Sadie Restorick, Global Inspirational Woman of the Year on the pod, which I'm really looking forward to next week as well.
Can't wait for
As
that
we're
one.
talking about those power of conversations, David,
Yes.
I went for an in-person meeting last week.
Okay, which is oddly newsworthy.
Well, now I think nowadays it is. It's. I mean, if I go back, I mean, even after the pandemic, or so say, for example, when I was at the racecourse and the pandemic happened,
Yeah.
still post the pandemic, despite everybody being introduced to Zoom and playing more quizzes than they've probably ever played in a lifetime.
Was it Clubhouse? Was it? Was that the app?
I was on Zoom. I was using Zoom for our quizzes.
Okay. Was it Clubhouse though? Was that the app that everyone was jumping on and doing?
I can't remember.
Because it's gone now, hasn't it? Whatever it was.
It's gone. It's gone. I haven't seen those friends for an online quiz. And they were amazingly fun as well. Might be something actually I might try reinstill into like once every couple of months or something, because they were great fun and the connection was brilliant. But yeah, even after the pandemic was at the racecourse, I didn't have an online meeting. Every meeting was in person. But the shift, obviously, since coming on to new roles, it seems like in-person meetings are almost frowned upon.
Well, funny thing I've found, James, is pandemic happened and we weren't allowed to meet with people. Yeah, so that's off the table. It goes virtual, Teams, Zoom, and alike. They're having a time of their lives. The second the lockdowns were lifted, then there's the novelty, and everyone runs back to face-to-face. In my experience, it was all face-to-face. It was like, oh my God, we can finally meet people. But then we got into this lull whereby the tech still exists. It's expensive, time-consuming. It's more of a hassle to go face-to-face. So there's almost reverting back to online. But I'm with you entirely. When you go face-to-face, you will undoubtedly and inevitably surface conversations that would simply never happen if you're having a digital chat.
And that is exactly what happened. You know, it was a meeting with somebody I've met online a number of times before,
Yep.
probably 10, 15 times previously online.
Oh,
But
wow.
in
Okay.
that
So a regular,
a regular,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the value we got out of that in-person meeting, we couldn't have met in any of the previous meetings that we've had online and digital. You know, the authenticity of seeing the person, actually meeting them, going through all of the different ideas. We're bouncing ideas off each other within the room, and you can see genuine excitement in somebody, which sometimes can be disguised online. You know, you can see
Yeah.
it was a more passionate conversation. And there was just so much more value, so much more information, so many different ideas, and a clearer path and structure to go forward with. I was actually taking notes with a pen.
I thought you were going to say quill.
Yeah, a quill and a parchment. but, for those listening and not been watching the podcast visually, I was dabbing a quill on my tongue, dabbing it in a pot of ink, and then simulating writing on some 18th century parchment.
You didn't blot it though, did you?
I didn't blot. Damn it. Damn
It's
it.
all fallen apart. It was so well acted out until it was smudged all over the place. But yeah, I'm with you entirely. Face to face, I went recently, and actually, I'm going to give this venue a shout out. And this isn't an ad or a sponsor. This is just a shout out because I loved being there. I don't know if you've ever been there. And funny enough, you talked a moment ago about the race course in well, they might say Chelmsford. I would probably think Braintree. But Grid Serve. Have you heard of Grid Serve, or have you ever been there?
What, up near the racecourse?
Yeah, very near the racecourse.
I
Yeah,
used
you
to
been in there?
regularly have meetings there if I wanted to get out of the environment of the racecourse. So we'd arrange to meet Grid Serve in the room upstairs.
Brilliant concept. I love it. You know, obviously, if you've got an electric car, you're in for a treat because there's more plug points there than anywhere seemingly. But as you go into the venue, and as you know, upstairs is where you'll predominantly do your meeting. It's just a great, fluid, relaxed space where you can have those face-to-face
Lovely living
interactions.
walls.
Yeah, a living wall. Love that. I saw also a chromed V8 that's been repurposed into a table, which I'm a massive fan of.
But
actually,
as well.
So that's exactly what I was going to say. The pods were great. So we had a conversation, myself and two others, and there was some aspects that were going to be a little more sensitive and probably not something we would want, out in the open, so to speak. So yeah, just tap in, jump in a pod, have that secured for an hour. Privacy, screen, comfortable. Can't speak highly enough of it. But again, it connects to and ties into face to face because we covered so much ground, and we're probably there 3.5 hours or so. We covered so much ground that you wouldn't get in something that's scheduled and has an end on it. But also just that in-person engagement, the cues, social cues. You can see some things that were landing positively, others that maybe not so much. Yeah, I'm with you entirely, James. I can't speak highly enough.
As we've alluded to it many times before on the pod, geographically, due to digital revelations, we are more connected than ever, but socially, we're more disconnected, I think, than we have been. And I hope there is a dramatic shift. I hope there is a shift towards, because at what stage will it be where nobody meets anybody and everybody is basically then just socially awkward? I don't think as human beings, we pack animals, so to speak. You find your tribe, and that's how you thrive and survive. So to think that we are getting so disconnected socially is something that, especially has been a people person like I am, that is something I'm genuinely worried about.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. And for me, I like, and the way I use digital channels, so for example, Teams or Zoom, is often on the qualification call. So whereas, it's difficult to justify a half day out of the office for something that's a qualification, you may not even be a good compatibility. You may not be a good fit as far as service provider or the avatar client that they might be for you. If you can clear that qualification virtually, maybe a half hour check-in, I then love face to face just to consolidate that, to probably fill some gaps that inevitably would have been missed in that kind of qualification. And there's
Yeah.
nothing better than sitting across from someone, having a coffee, or maybe a quick brew would be a better way of putting it.
I'm going to the Health and Wellbeing at Work Expo at the Birmingham NEC over the 10th and 11th of March for
Nice.
wellbeing providers and wellbeing L&D leads, HR teams, and things like that. For me, it's definitely the best conference that you can go to. Sadie's having a conversation and a fireside chat. It's the headline with Dame Laura Kenny.
Nice. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she will be there obviously as well, and we're going. And we're actually exhibiting this time, and I'm really looking forward to it. I might be able to sort you out if you wanted to go to that day, but it's a very,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
good event to go to. But I'm really looking forward to it for that in-person connectivity and such as well, because it's not something like we say we see every day. It's different because we are a global company as well. So for example, last week I had meetings with New Zealand at 11 p.m. I've had meetings with China at like 3 in the morning. I've had meetings with America at say like 6, 7 or 8 p.m. So
You can't
that's
bounce out the office for that, can you?
no, I'm not off on a 72-hour round trip flight to New Zealand. But even so, we do have a lot of UK-based clients, and I would like to meet them in person, but it's something that's not rarely suggested. And then if you suggest it, it's like you've just asked if you can come and take a dump on the porch. It's like sometimes there's just such an adversity to whether it is because it's easier to meet over Teams. But yeah, there just seems to be such an adversity to it, and I would say that 99% of my meetings are virtual.
Is it because there is a sense that it's not as committal if it's done virtually? I think if you're committing time in person, is that almost a show or an indication that you're, really on board?
On
Or
board.
does it feel more almost formal if you're arranging something face to face, do you think?
I think it does feel more formal. I think it feels definitely the more authentic. And I think if you meet a person in person, they're more likely to commit to you because they can get to know the authentic you. When you
Yeah.
meet in person, it can be very hard to hide things. If we're meeting digitally, I can do. Sorry, I've got a problem with my camera. Is it okay if I just, so for the purposes of those listening to the podcast, I just turned off my camera for that segment. So yeah, when you're meeting on
There you
Teams,
go.
people can turn off the camera, say that they might have had a problem with their connection. Again, you're not seeing that person, you can't read them. I've always been a person that believes in in-person meetings, and that's why I'm looking forward to the Health and Wellbeing at Work Expo, because we're doing that with part of the Great British Workplace Wellbeing Awards as well. But maybe there is an element of lack of commitment. I mean, have you noticed recently people just ghosting? There is a
Ghosting.
horrible habit of ghosting at the minute.
Word of the day, ghosting.
Ghosting. And I was speaking to somebody else about it. It can be, obviously, we work in sales. I don't expect, like some other people do, if I message somebody on LinkedIn or it is a cold outreach or an email or it's a voicemail that I've left, I don't expect them to respond to every single message that I'm putting or expect a response from that. Because if somebody at Amazon, they'll probably get inundated. If you're talking like a global head of L&D, they're going to be getting probably 60, 70 emails a day that are just cold outreach. So you can't expect people to respond to everyone. And you do get those that are saying, well, it's just rude. No, it isn't. They're not interested. Don't worry about it. Move on. Find somebody that is. But the one that does frustrate me, and I was speaking to the person about this, is somebody you've met a number of times. So say you've had 5 meetings, you've listened to every problem or need that they might have. You've created a solution based on the data that you've received from those meetings. You've built up a
Yeah.
great relationship over that time. You've sent them the proposal, which has usually taken you at least 3 to 4 hours to create to make sure it's on point and attractive and give you the best opportunity to win the business. You then get ignored from that point and they never respond
Ghosted.
to you again. And it's like, well, come on, let's have a bit of common courtesy here.
Yeah. I mean, that's just bang out of order, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be
But it
honest.
seems to be happening more and more often. Last week alone,
Mhm.
I just had 4 people not bother turning up for the meeting.
Really?
virtually, and dropping an email. I'm waiting in the waiting room. Here's the link. Nothing. Sorry, I missed you on today's meeting. Is there a suitable time to rearrange? Nothing.
Tumbleweed.
Yeah, shocking.
That is odd. That is odd. I had an experience last week, which I guess it was inevitable that at some point it was going to happen, but it has now happened. How often are you in meetings where you've got the note takers, the assistants that are entered? Yeah. I, I had a meeting the other day when there was more note takers than real people.
Really? How many? What's in note takers? As in the AI that basically just
Yeah,
generates
exactly.
notes?
AI note taker. So
Well, why would
whereas
you need
I might
more than
jump
one?
on, yeah, so I might jump on and I'll say, "Oh, James, don't mind my note taker. Obviously, it's just going to transcribe what we're discussing. Make sure I'm not missing any of the call to action. It's a useful bit of tech. Awesome." However, these participants had logged onto the call in order to facilitate their note taker to be there, but they didn't value themselves being there. And as such, we had a virtual room, with more note takers than humans.
Oh, that is shocking. No, that
Yeah.
is shocking.
And
That's
it's
it.
funny
Yeah,
because you've prompted this, and I probably should have told you about this before, but can you even believe that?
that
More note takers. Who's talking?
that's
No one's talking in that conversation.
that's awful.
They're all listening.
No, yeah, no. I couldn't. I'd have logged off. I would have
Well,
logged.
it wasn't ultimately tenable because there isn't enough dialogue. So
Yeah,
you've just got a couple of people talking, more note takers just listening to nothing, and the value that you hope and the contribution that you would expect their note takers human partner to make, they're not there to do it. So it, yeah, that was a low, and probably the first time I've seen, or personally, the first time I've seen that. And again, tech is great. We always say it's great when leveraged and deployed in the right way. For me, that is a complete abomination and a bastardization of what could otherwise be a pretty good tool.
completely agree with you. And this is what my concerns are. The more that this is going to happen, how much more disconnected are we going to become?
Well, yeah, I mean, we in that scenario, we've got bots listening to conversations that we actually don't want to be a part of, but thinking that we're still somehow adding some kind of value. It's, yeah, I
Crazy.
think that's a
What a what a
lost
way to wrap
cause,
up.
isn't it? Just James, fancy dress was never on the mood board, but I've actually oddly enjoyed your Andre Agassi-esque fit
Attire.
for the day. I kind of wish you had his mullet of
Yeah.
the 90s. Uh, or in the end, he shaved his head altogether, didn't he? So he went from
Yeah.
one extreme to another. But what a player he was! I loved watching tennis back in the day. Actually, I used to enjoy watching it more than I do now. I don't know if it's just because I have an aversion to Djokovic. I'm not a massive fan. As much as I respect what he's all about, I've never really got on board with him as a character. But there used to be more characters, didn't there?
They did. I mean, there's as I've been playing more tennis, a figure that I used to hate, I
Strong
now
word.
strong word, greatly dislike. Sorry, I
Like it.
now actually fully understand. So I'm a very competitive person.
Are we going down the McEnroe route here?
Kyrgios, Nick Kyrgios.
Oh wow. Okay,
I
so he's
definitely,
brutal.
I definitely, after losing, demonstrated some Nick
Kyrgios
Kyrgios
tendency.
tendencies. Yeah, so I can completely understand him now.
Yeah, it's elite sport, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's difficult.
yeah, well, of course, it's difficult, but I think the problem is, and as you know, when you're competitive, losing a point, losing a game, losing a set, losing a match in the moment hurts, but it will live up here for quite a while. And if it's meant something, a major tournament, let alone a title, yeah, you can see why these guys get so unbelievably
Unbelievably frustrating.
invested. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Awesome. Thank you for
great
that.
talking
Great
to you.
chat. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my Tesco tea.
I'm going to enjoy
Cheers.
my Tenzing natural energy. And cheers.
And on to the next one. Cheers. Thanks for
Cheers.
listening.
Take care.